Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Data Standard Audio Experience. I'm here today with Greg Hooven, the president at Market Reach, and today we're speaking about the lack of leveraging metrics in marketing. So welcome to the show, Greg. It's so great to have you today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. And could you tell us more about your background and the things that you're working on today?
Yeah, so my name is Greg Hooven. I'm president here at Market Reach. We are a creative production shop. We offer creative services to B2B tech marketing, B2B tech companies, and we help them out with a variety of different marketing needs. So everything from program management to design, interactive development, video, copy development, event management, pretty much soup to nuts. You need it, we can help you with it.
Yeah, fun stuff that you're working on today. And why do you think that there is a lack of leveraging metrics in marketing today?
So from my experience, particularly in the tech industry, I think there are a number of things that affect that. I think there are some organizations that do a really good job at tracking the metrics and or gathering them. When it is, particularly in the enterprise level organizations, disseminating that information down to the business units. They work on a variety of different systems. Not all of those systems tend to talk to each other. And I think, particularly in the tech sector, a lot of organizations are moving so quickly that they're trying to get information out and get it out to market that they don't have the bandwidth and or the time to look back on historical data before they start moving forward with new campaigns. Some organizations, like I said, do a very good job at it. And I think others, they have best interests in mind when it comes to what their plan is for that stuff, but they're moving at such a pace that by the time they're done running their program, they don't have the time to go back and look at the stuff that they've done already. We see that quite a bit in the event sector, for instance. Companies will put together a plan of, they send out their invitations, they get their registration list, they talk about who's coming to the event, who actually came to the event, who didn't come to the event. We've got to do follow-ups for all of these people, and that list ends up going into a drawer until the next time they're ready to run an event. They pull it out and they say, okay, we've got to invite all of these people, and we've got to put together a plan on how we're going to review who actually, registers, who attends, and what we're going to do after. And they continue that cycle over and over again versus stopping and saying, okay, these people didn't attend. Why didn't they attend? What can we do to help garner their interest next time? And then for the folks who did attend, how do we get those people over to our sales organization and, get them the information that they need to qualify, whether they're an actual lead or they're somebody that we should put into a nurturing program, for instance.
Yeah, it's super interesting that you're working on this. And what are some ways that companies can better leverage their data today?
From my experience, I think it's setting that plan up front, right? What's the information that we really need and we really want to know? I mean, you've got your standard information, when you're looking at digital campaigns, your KPIs, your click-throughs, your impressions, and all of that type of stuff. But with the campaign that you're running or the marketing program that you're running, what is it that you're actually trying to get out of it? And what are the things that are going to help you improve the next one and or adjust that campaign as you're going through it? Again, something that I don't think a lot of people do. They will, put the start of the program together and when the end date is, but they don't look at the data during the campaign to say, hey, maybe if we adjust our target audience this way, we'll see better results over here, or maybe we need to adjust our offering. Those are things that can be done during a campaign to help improve the overall success. And I think having that plan up front of, here's who the audience is that we're reaching out, here's the messaging that we're providing, and having some idea of what your overall goal is will help you as you move forward to adjust where needed. And then again, at the end of it, be able to sit down, look and say, okay, did we actually accomplish what we set out to do? Yes, we did. Okay, well, what can we do next program to improve how that, even better improve our results at the end?
Yeah, that's great. And I'm sure that a lot of the work that you're currently working on today, revolving around marketing, there are some challenges that come with what you're working on today. So what is one of the biggest challenges that you have faced working within the marketing sector here?
For us with the tech industry, I think speed is a big one. Things are consistently evolving, people trying to get products out to market. being the first to get product out to market. Therefore, turning the messaging around, turning the campaigns around is a fairly quick process. And I think, again, that goes back to leveraging the metrics and the data and actually taking time to sit down and put together a plan of this is going to be the best approach. This is our long term, 6 to 12 months. Most of the programs that we work on are more in the 2 to 3 month, 4 month time frame. Having an idea of how that campaign will evolve so that you're not just getting it out there, throwing it away, and then moving on to the next one. Even if you are introducing new products and or upgrades, you can run consistent campaign for 6 to 12 months and adjust it as you go through if you're looking at all of that information. I think another big challenge that we see quite frequently is people being realistic about what their goals are. And from that, I mean, not expectation of ROI or things like that, but reviewing the data, capturing the data, what they actually have time to contribute to that program versus trying to get their daily job done. A lot of people go into those things with, high expectations of what they're going to be able to do, and their day-to-day life just doesn't really match up to that. From a metric standpoint, going back to that, I had a conversation with somebody a couple of weeks ago, new prospect. We were talking about web development, and she said, "Do you guys do all of the standard metrics tracking?" The company I'm working with currently, I get a report every week and it shows, what my click-throughs are and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, yeah, we can do that, but what do you do with it? And she was, kind of looked at me a little sideways and she was like, well, what do you mean? What do I do with it? And I said, well, what's the goal of you having that report? Do you do anything with it? And it was kind of, sheepishly, she looked at me and said, well, I put it in a drawer until the next time I need it. And it's like, okay, so that's where we need to figure out to help you improve is what are your metrics telling you that your visitors are doing? That's the way that we're going to be able to help you improve your site. And if you're not looking at that now, you're probably not going to be looking at it 6 months from now, unless we actually sit down and talk about what are your goals, what are the things you want to do, and what are those metrics that are important for you moving forward.
And that's so great to hear. And I'm curious, with a lot of the work that you're doing with marketing, how are you measuring the success within your company? And how do you know that you're making these improvements?
For us, it is client retention. I think we've got a very good, I started here 14 years ago. We've got clients that we're still working with. So I think that's a huge part of measuring our success. Obviously, a lot of people rely on ROI, which, depending on what you have access to from a sales organization, as well as the metrics of all of your different digital and campaign data can be determined. It really boils down to what information you have available. But for us, it really boils down to the relationships. Being able to make sure that our clients are satisfied with the work that we're delivering and that they're continuing to come back day after day.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a great measurement to analyze success there. And I wanted to also ask, what do you think that the lack of leveraging metrics today, how do you think that will be affecting the future of marketing?
I think that some organizations are getting better with it. I know that there are companies that have, specialties as far as roles are concerned now that is their primary job. It's becoming more and more commonplace in some of the larger organizations that we work with. I think marketing teams will start to add people that specialize in, data review, data analysis. Some of them that we work with have already. Some I think are, trailing a little bit as far as that's concerned. AI and marketing automation certainly is going to help. There's a lot that you can do with that. And I think as organizations get better with leveraging and figuring out how those two things come into play with their marketing, whether it be their digital strategy or their global campaigns, as they start to get better at leveraging that stuff, adding in some of the personalization to make it more effective, I think the metrics and being able to leverage that, the automation and the AI will help with their time and their bandwidth. And then that should hopefully free them up to be able to, look at the data a little bit more.
Yeah, great insight there. And Greg, I wanted to say thank you so much for being on the Data Standard today. We as a community are trying to build a community where everyone can just network and collaborate with each other from a data expert point of view. So, what is something that we could do for you?
I think, from my perspective, learning from the community about how people are leveraging the information that they have, particularly from a marketing standpoint. What do they find successful? What are the tools that they're utilizing? The MarTech stack that's out there right now is just massive. And we've had some success with some things and, some failures with others. And I think learning from folks on what works for them and why is always helpful and beneficial for us.
Yeah, fantastic. And where can everyone find you online to connect with you?
So we are on all the major social platforms at marketreach.com. It's Market Reach is our LinkedIn. And then Greg Hooven is my personal.
Okay, perfect. And to our audience, for more information on the data standard, you can find us at www.datastandard.io, as well as on our LinkedIn and YouTube channel. And thank you so much, Greg, for joining us. It was such a pleasure to have you on the show.
All right. Thank you.